Hey everybody, welcome back to Complete Trader Academy's daily review. Today is February 23, 2023. Let's hop right into it here. So, as we discussed yesterday, price ended up speakering out. So taking out highs, then taking out lows, and finally took out this low from January 5th. And this whole pool of liquidity sitting there. And then took out first the January 20th low right there. So let's hop right into a smaller time frame. All right, so we're on the 5-minute here. Price opened up and then rallied, was going up, right? Most of the time came down, shaking out in London. Took out the 620 low right there here with the 830. So when 830 came and took that out and price held within this low, all right, we're still sort of in a bullish direction in a way, but we do have this high sitting here like completely by itself. I was mentioning, I forgot to yesterday draw that extra line for the imbalance. I did for this line, but I forgot to draw it once yesterday closed, which would have been right there. So you had a price imbalance here, but more importantly, the high of that imbalance is always very, very important. So you have a couple things that will happen when you have an imbalance like that. Either the price, the next candle, which would have been today, either it'll peak above it and then slam down, or peak right below it, even like by points, and then slam down, or the traditional, we'll start to fill it up completely, right? I forgot to put that line in yesterday. Sometimes I forget everything I want to do in these videos, but I don't just want to make them too long. But this was completely by itself sitting there, right? And I said we'd take out that high. I thought we'd go a little bit higher once it would take out this high, but at the same time, I know it's developing a speaker, meaning it's going to shake out. So when you get to a bottom of a range like this, and I'm not saying this is the bottom only, but definitely is the bottom from here, right? From up there, you'll see that it'll shake out. So low, high, low, high, low. Like you see this all the time. So I was making it very clear yesterday. Now, would I have liked to see price shoot up to this area? Sure. But guess what? It didn't. So I'm not going to be married to the idea as well. Meaning, when I see the reaction of the way it took out that high, well, as soon as I see this down candle right there, that big, massive down candle, and then you have an additional massive down candle, right there, I'm automatically thinking, okay, we're taking out these lows, right? Now, not necessarily this far, this low, but at least this low. See, because remember yesterday, if you watched yesterday's video, it didn't take out this green line's low. We left that low. So I didn't even have to mark that low because I know it's literally right next to each other, right? So that is the way I'm thinking. I know that the market maker thinks that I'm going to completely go all the way up here, right? Or I'm going to completely go all the way down here. But what I know, and how many videos that we've made, do I show you that it's a sell and a buy in the same day, or a buy and a sell in the same day? Well, here's your classic example of a sell and a buy, right? So yes, I did take the buy entry here, which I know I shouldn't. At 9:30, I know I should be waiting till 10 o'clock and get some more data, which this was a perfect scenario of that. So I took a trade here and caught this buy here right at the 9:30, 9:40. And then when it came up here, I exited the trade because the rest of it took me out. So right when I saw this big bearish candle, very clear that you have an imbalance in there. Price peaks up right into it. And I'll show you on a 1 minute. And just for the record, US 30 is dirty. I mean, ES was super clean today. And NAS is a little bit dirtier than ES, but nothing is dirtier than US 30 or Dow Jones, guaranteed, because they didn't give you that break. See how we swept above and we came back down, and we didn't break underneath. If I showed you an ES chart, you'll see this pattern. You'll see this breaking first, then coming back up. But that's how I got half of my confluence to take the trade. The other half was not, besides the dollar, it was the divergence that it created. So for example, down here, this is the Dow Jones. We made both higher highs here. All right, so taking out liquidity above that high. ES also went above and took out that liquidity above that high. And then NASDAQ made a lower low. See that right there? So when NASDAQ made a lower low, this was also letting me know, okay, we've took some of the upside. We're now going for the downside. All right, so that's how that happened. So very clear. You can't miss that. I mean, very, very clear. You see what I'm saying? So other than that, the dollar was also rising at the same time. So when the dollar is going to be rising like that, in my opinion, obviously, then we're going to look for lower prices. And this whole run is this whole run on the dollar. Now, the whole run back up, as you see, which I'll get to in a minute, is the complete retrace of the dollar. Why? Well, you had all these lows here. We broke above, and it didn't keep going. It started chopping up here. This is a good sign that it's going to come down. Dollar isn't just going to keep flying up either. So you had a very nice imbalance sitting right in there with a gap. Sure enough, I had my heart set on it, and look, it came right to that price. Thought I would have touched the opening gap, but it didn't. But that's okay. That wasn't necessary because I was looking at that from up here. All right. Anyways, back to this trade. So you had that imbalance on the 5-minute, and you had to have been strong enough to be able to go through that. And then you had another confirmation. Once it broke this low and came right back up and retraced, it retraced right there. And you had another imbalance right in there. You can do the homework on yourself. See the imbalance between these 2 candles here, 3 candles, I should say. And then you see it pokes above. Good entry right there. You could have been also a buyer. I'm sorry, buyer, seller. You could have been a seller here. Not enough data though. And US 30 was super shady. And then you could have been a seller once the price came up and it peaked right above this candle into this imbalance. You could have been a buyer, seller there as well. Could have been a seller. Where else in this? I mean, I'm not taking multiple positions. I'm catching it down here. But just to train your eye and so you could see this. Very hard to see opportunities in this 1-minute chart. You would have to go better to like a 2-minute. In my opinion, I like the 2 minutes a lot better. Where am I here? Here we go. See that? So when this made an imbalance and price peaked up, could have been above right there. So you need sometimes to get more data. The 1 minute is not enough. Is too much. I'm sorry. So the second, the 2 minute would show you very clean, or 3 minutes pretty good too. See how it peaks right above that candle in this imbalance? Boom. Could have been a seller right there. Could have been a seller right there. Could have been a seller right there. And you just see it holds price all the way down. And let's see here. That's pretty much the good trades you could have caught all the way down. All right, so that was the sell. And then as far as the buy. Now check out this. Now people are losing their mind because they missed it and they're selling and selling and selling. And I know it's going to hit a floor. What's my floor? Well, I had this big ass blue line here for months. I know we're going to get a reaction here. What was the reaction? Well, you saw it bounce up, break that high, come back down, took that out. So this is a shakeout, right? So then you see the price come back up above this block, which makes it a block, and then comes back down in the block. All right, you want one more confirmation of order flow. Price breaks above, takes out that high, and then comes back in, and it comes into these blocks right here. These 3 consecutive blocks right there. Can't miss that. This is a 5-minute. On the 1 minute is a lot easier to see. See that? See how it made that high? So broke up, took out that high, came back down into this block. See this from this line right there? Came into there. Could have used that block as well. but you have this imbalance in price. So when the price came back in, it took out that candle and it coupled with this block. That's your confluence right there. See that? 2 minute, definitely a lot better. And you will see that it taps this. See these 3 consecutive blocks? Definitely more clean. Can't miss that. And you're taking that chance, obviously. I mean, could it have kept going down? Of course it could have. But look where I'm at. I'm at that blue line. Let me go back to a 4. Let me go to a 4 hour. And then you'll see that I've had this line forever. You all know that. If you look how many days. I've had it over 2 months. Almost 2 months now. On the head, actually. So, that being the case, price, when it reached down, took out that low. And then if you watched the previous video, I said that, well, we might as well take out this low because we're already there. It's already, the momentum is strong. You can see when I was saying in videos here that it's rushing to take out that low, those lows, right? See how long it took to build these orders? 2 months. And look how long it took to take it out. Well, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. That's a holiday. So still 4 days. But let's just say 5, 6, 7. Today's the 8th day. So in 8 days, it came down and rushed to take that out. Anyways, all right, so now where are we? Right now, we're at a scenario, in my opinion, just like this. Just like this. You see how we had this big fall? And then look here. You see how when it fell down, it came up. It came down and came back up. It set a high. Then came down and came back up. Came down, came up, took out that high, then came back down. Well, right now, you're witnessing this. So yesterday was a little bit more, well, no, let me rephrase that. This area here was a little bit like this. This area where it came down, came up, came down, and it came and took back out that high right there before going back down. Well, this is the same idea. We came down, we came up, we took that high, and then we came back down again. So this area right here is kind of what I'm looking at right here. So what does that mean? Well, does it mean that I'm not saying that we can't come back down again to take out that low before retracing above this high now? So it's a speaker. It's ranging. It's ranging out. So we have this massive eyesore. I mean, man, you can't miss this massive eyesore, right? So they were able to bring the price down. And then what did they do? They brought it back up. So my goal, let me go back to a 5 minute. My goal was to take it above here because I know how they operate. They operate in a speaker, so to speak, right? Low, high, low, high, low. Could be here, high. Now, I'm not saying it will take this out, all right, or fill any of this. Generally, should it? Yeah, it should. I mean, it's a massive imbalance of price sitting right here. But at the same time, this could be the resistance that we reach, and it just starts to fail even more. Why? Because they want to sink and get lower prices. If I go back to a daily chart, you're going to see that we had this same instance right here. When we were up here consolidating, just how we were here, the price suddenly came down, came up, came down, came up. Came down, came all the way back up, never broke up this price. This would be your classic support resistance, right? So in my eyes, we might see something like that here, or once it gets a little bit lower. I'm just freestyling, I'm talking to you, but hopefully this, you get what I'm saying. All right, anyways, so what am I seeing now? Big imbalance of price. We got a low here. We got news for the week still. What did I say, Thursday? So I think do we have some tomorrow? I'm not sure. Well, let's check it out. I don't think there's news tomorrow. Yes, there is. I'm sorry. All right. So core PCE price index that's at 8:30 tomorrow. I don't know if that's going to really do something, but who knows? All right. So that being the case, we got highs here, insufficient price here. So we've reached speakered out down, and then we're going to either maybe come back up and then come back down. So it's going to range out. I at this point, I've already taken 80% off. I don't need it to hit here for me to take 80% on this buy. But at the same time, we can definitely come back and take this low. So this just could be the lower low. This could be the lower high, and we could then make a new lower low. But you just got to watch as it goes. I'm not married to any direction. Wherever it's going, I want to go with it. So I'm giving you the basis of where I think it's going to go, or the structure of how things are going. All right. So hope this helps you guys. And then you guys, let me see. Is there anything else I should say here? Yeah, I mean, again, we're just going to start ranging out on this bottom, kind of like this. It could get very sloppy. But I'm expecting maybe another hot push up, get some of this imbalance, come back down. All right, you guys take care. God bless.